Today's experience was sent to us by renounced Imam. Be blessed as you listening. From childhood, I was immersed in the teachings of Islam, reciting verses, memorizing prayers, and growing into a respected Imam such that top-ranking Islamic leaders and institutions always come to seek counsel from me. My words carried authority, and Muslim community looked to me for guidance. Yet beneath the surface of my unwavering devotion, there were moments, small, fleeting cracks in my certainty. One evening, as I sat in the mosque after the final prayer, I watched an elderly man kneeling in deep supplication, his forehead pressed to the ground, his voice trembling with desperation. He had come to me earlier, seeking comfort over his son's death. I had given him the usual reassurances that Allah's will was perfect, that suffering was a test, that patience would bring reward. Yet, as I observed him, something inside me ached. Was he truly comforted? The weight of doubt pressed heavily on my soul, and no matter how much I tried to suppress it, the questions only grew louder. I told myself that my faith was merely being tested, that my father's death and my uncertainty were trials I had to endure. I needed to rekindle the conviction I had once carried so confidently. That was why I decided to go on Hajj. If there was any place where my heart could find clarity, it had to be Mecca. When I arrived, the sight of the Kaaba filled me with awe. Thousands of pilgrims moved in perfect harmony, their voices rising in unified prayer. I prayed with more intensity than I ever had before, begging for the faith I had lost to return to me. Yet, beneath the surface, something felt wrong. The prayers felt rehearsed, the rituals mechanical. I wanted to believe that the journey had brought me closer to God, but instead, I felt more distant than ever. The conviction I had hoped to regain did not come. That night in Mecca, exhaustion weighed heavily on me. The rituals of the pilgrimage had drained me, yet my spirit remained unsettled. I felt feverish, my mind went restless with questions I could not silence. As I closed my eyes, I felt departing from my physical body, taken by an unknown force. I opened my eyes to see myself floating over my physical body. I felt a presence as unknown force guided me to a place I can't fully explain. Standing before me was a being unlike anything I had ever seen. He radiated a brilliance that was both overwhelming and soothing, his very presence exuding authority and peace. Fear gripped me, but at the same time, a strange calm washed over me. He revealed to me that he had come to show me the truth, that the doubts I had struggled with were not without cause. In an instant, I was no longer in my tent. It was as if I had been transported to a different realm, one that existed outside of time. I saw visions, scenes that shook me to my core. He revealed to me the forces working behind what I had always believed to be sacred. I saw how prayers, spoken with sincerity, were being absorbed by something unseen, something that fed on the devotion of millions. It was not the God I had believed I was serving. The realization was unbearable. I wanted to reject what I was seeing, to deny it, but deep down, I knew it was true. The angel revealed to me that I had been taking through this experience for a reason. I could not remain in ignorance. I had to make a choice. As the angel led me forward, I found myself standing in a place that was neither day nor night, a realm bathed in a dim, eerie twilight. There was no sun, no stars, only an endless horizon of muted light stretching in every direction. I moved forward, guided by the presence beside me. The ground beneath me felt real, yet unfamiliar, solid yet weightless, as if it were not meant for mortal feet. In the distance, I saw what looked like ruins of a city, its structures twisted and darkened by time or something far more sinister. The angel revealed to me that this was a place where truth could not be hidden. Here, deceptions were stripped away, leaving only what was real. It was then that I saw him, sitting alone in the vast emptiness, a figure burdened by something greater than sorrow. As I drew closer, recognition struck me with an intensity that sent a chill through my very being. It was Muhammad. His face was etched with torment, his posture weighed down by unseen chains. Around him, dark entities lurked, their whispers circling him like vultures. The angel revealed to me that he had been deceived, that the voices he once believed to be divine were not from God. A deep sadness filled me as I realized the magnitude of what had happened, not just to him, but to all who followed after him. Before I could even begin to process what I was seeing, the realm shifted again. I was no longer in the ruins but above a great city, looking down upon millions in prayer. From this vantage point, I saw what had been hidden from human eyes. Their prayers did not ascend to heaven. Instead, they were consumed, absorbed into the depths below, feeding something vast and insatiable. The angel revealed to me the force that lay beneath the foundation of their faith. A colossal beast, its form shifting between a wolf and a serpent, lay coiled beneath the great mosque, its presence concealed from the physical world. With every word of devotion spoken by the faithful, it grew stronger, its influence stretching further. I wanted to turn away, to reject what I had seen, but I could not. The truth had been placed before me, undeniable and terrifying. The angel revealed to me that I had been brought here to see what few had ever been allowed to witness. The choice now rested with me. Then, just as suddenly as it had begun, I was back. The silence of the desert night surrounded me once more, but inside, there was no peace. My body trembled with the weight of what I had seen. The world as I had known it was gone, shattered in the span of mere moments. And yet, deep within me, I understood, this experience was not meant to destroy me. It was meant to lead me toward something greater. The angel revealed to me that Muhammad had been misled, that the voice he once believed to be divine was not what he thought it was. He had spoken what he was given, believing it to be from God, but the source had been something else entirely. And now, the weight of that knowledge bore down on him. I watched as he lifted his head, his eyes filled with a sorrow so profound it was almost unbearable to witness. There was no arrogance, no defiance, only regret. It was the grief of a man who had unknowingly led others down a path that could not be undone. The angel revealed to me that his suffering was not from punishment, but from truth. Here, in this place where deception could not stand, he saw clearly. He saw the millions who followed after him, believing they were walking toward the light while unknowingly drifting into darkness. And he could do nothing. The angel revealed to me that I had been shown this not to judge, but to understand. My faith had been built on the words of this man, yet here he was, suffering under the knowledge of his own error. If he, the one I had trusted, had been deceived, what did that mean for all who still followed his words? I wanted to turn away from this certainty I once had. But I could not. The truth had been placed before me, undeniable and irreversible. And with that truth came a choice. As the angel guided me through this strange realm, I was struck by the weight of what I had already seen. But nothing could have prepared me for the next revelation. We moved past the twisted city and found ourselves high above an unfamiliar, sprawling metropolis. The skyline was lined with towering minarets, their silhouettes cutting against the twilight sky. Below, millions of people gathered in the streets, their heads bowed in worship, their voices rising in unison with prayers. At first, the scene seemed peaceful, even majestic. But as the angel touched my arm, a new sight opened up to me. What appeared to be a sea of devoted worshippers was not what it seemed. With a shift in my perception, I saw beyond the surface. The prayers they offered, full of devotion and reverence, did not ascend to heaven as they believed. Instead, they were drawn into the earth, absorbed by something unseen, something dark. A massive force lay beneath the city, hidden from the eyes of those who worshipped above. It was a beast, unlike anything I had ever imagined, a monstrous creature whose form shifted between wolf and serpent. Its eyes glowed with an insatiable hunger, and its presence sent a chill through my soul. It was bound beneath the earth, its massive body coiled around the foundations of the sacred city, pulsing with each prayer it absorbed. The angel explained to me that this beast was the true power behind the prayers of millions. It thrived on the devotion, feeding off the very energy of worship, growing stronger with every supplication. The people, unaware of the true nature of their worship, were unknowingly offering their faith to this dark force. What they believed to be a connection to the divine was, in reality, feeding the beast and strengthening its hold. As I watched in horror, I realized how deep the deception ran. I wanted to cry out, to warn them, but I knew it was futile. The people could not see what I had seen. Their faith was bound to a lie, and they were trapped in it without even knowing. The weight of the truth pressed down on me. The angel's words echoed in my mind. The truth had been shown to me, and now I had to choose. But how could I go back to a life of ignorance, knowing what I now knew? The angel's presence beside me was comforting, but his words carried a deep urgency. I was no longer in the safety of ignorance. I had seen the beast beneath the city, feeding on the prayers of the faithful. The truth had been revealed to me, and there was no going back. With a quiet resolve, I made my choice. It was not easy, but it was clear. I chose the truth that had been revealed to me through the experience, the truth that pointed to Jesus as the way, the truth, and the life. Again, as the scene changed, there, standing before me, was a figure whose very essence radiated truth. Though I could not look directly at him, I felt his gaze, kind and understanding, as if he saw into the deepest part of me. It was as if he knew every struggle, every doubt, every question I had ever carried within my heart. And in his presence, those doubts began to dissolve. His figure was luminous, his face filled with a divine expression of compassion, and his voice, when it came, was like a gentle breeze, soothing my troubled spirit. It was then that I understood. I was in the presence of Jesus Christ, the one whom I had heard of but never truly known. In that moment, there was no need for words. It was as though his very presence spoke to my soul. He revealed to me the truth in a way that words could never fully describe. The truth about salvation, about the path I had been walking, and the choice I had to make. His light was not just a physical brightness, but a spiritual clarity that unraveled everything I had been taught and all that I had believed. The truth of his divinity, his sacrifice, and the promise of eternal peace became so undeniable that it left no room for uncertainty. I knew that in that moment, my life would change forever. It wasn't just about belief anymore. It was about a new way of being, a new identity in Christ. As the vision faded, and I was returned to the physical world, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace, but also a deep knowing that I could no longer go back to the life I had known. The truth had been revealed to me, and it was undeniable. I could no longer live in ignorance of the path I was meant to walk. And in my heart, I knew that I would follow it, no matter the cost. As you listen, I pray you will also make bold steps to walking in truth no matter the cost. God bless you.